Everyone is speaking out about this as the Boston Celtics have seen some questionable things with their lineups in their last couple games, with some stats showcasing that maybe putting one player in this starting five to run off the bench in the beginning could be better for this team. We're going to be diving in and looking at the stats, looking at how these players have been playing, and ultimately deciding what is the best starting five for this Celtics team to get into rhythm. We'll be breaking down all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic, showing your love and support on the channel in the last couple weeks. We're so thankful of your guys' undivided support. We did realize that right around 70% of you guys who watch these videos are not subscribed. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around this Celtics team, rumors, trades, videos like this breaking down lineups, going into deep about the team, having live streams, which will be debuting once again tomorrow with a special guest. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so that you're up to date on everything with this Celtics team. But without further ado, let's dive into the video at hand. Make sure to grab that snack. As like I said in the introduction, this is a discussion and one that I was brought up on Twitter, courtesy of two Celtics reporters who do a fantastic job breaking down the team for CLNS in Noah Dalzell and Bobby Manning. And both of them posed this question following the Celtics game versus the New Orleans Pelicans in a thriller, which was, should the Celtics move Kristaps Porziņģis to the bench? And they obviously broke this down, had their discussion, was a fantastic job from both of them giving their takes. And Noah followed it up by giving us the stats to back it up to kind of look at it. And what she provided here was a very small sample, but here are the lineup numbers. Again, this isn't about who would close games or who would play more, but just pondering the first 5 minutes of the Celtics starting the game, as we saw the Celtics getting a little bit of a slow start versus this Pelicans team in their last contest. And if we want to look at the stats, we have both the Celtics starting fives with Al Horford and with Kristaps Porziņģis, with the usual four of Derrick White, Jayson Tatum, and Jaylen Brown and Jrue Holiday. And as you guys can see, obviously the starting five with Al Horford has gotten more run as Kristaps Porziņģis has been out, but it also has been able to produce some better statistics. Defensively, the Celtics team is better with the core of Horford out on the floor, as we see a defensive rating of 105 compared to a 116. And offensively, they have been more impactful as well as a 122 offensive rating compared to a 107. And this is what a lot of fans have been looking at amongst other stats here that are shown, with the assist rate at 70% compared to a 62% assist to turnover ratio being a little bit higher as well. And those implements make Celtics fans question and wonder if bringing Kristaps Porziņģis off the bench truly could be an impactful move that this Celtics team could make. We all know that this Celtics squad loves to swing the ball, loves to utilize ball movement, and with after adding Kristaps Porziņģis back into this lineup, it has, stagnated that ball movement a little bit, as he's obviously been getting a lot of work in the post, and it's limited the Boston Celtics and the creativity that they've been able to work around in the three-point land. With Al Horford being in that lineup, since he is a little bit of a stretch big, plays a little bit more outside on the perimeter, the Celtics are able to run five out with Al Horford in the lineup instead of four out, one inside with Kristaps, and it allows them to have a little bit more fluid ball movement, have them to be able to drive to the lane, kick out, pass around, make it a little bit easier, and pull opponents off their dribble off on the defensive side when they're dribbling to be able to get that extra shot off balance. That's something that's a little limited with Kristaps Porziņģis, but with Kristaps Porziņģis, we have seen a recent surge in his game, and this is due to the fact that the Celtics have been ramping up and have been giving him those extra moments. And if we want to dive in and look at Porziņģis' stats here, we can see that obviously Porziņģis was out for a little while here for the Boston Celtics as he was dealing with some injuries. And then once he came back, he was still dealing with some stuff, retweaking in his leg. And his recent one was obviously an ankle tweak, but since returning from the ankle tweak, that one game versus the Rockets was a little bit of a shaky one. The Thunder one was, a little bit shaky from three-point range, but he was pretty solid and effective in that one. But in his recent three games, the one versus the Nuggets with no Nikola Jokic, he was was the X factor inside for the Boston Celtics, really going at it in the first half, being that big benefactor for this team, also getting 11 rebounds and 1 block. Versus the Kings as well, he had 10 rebounds and 22 points, and going up against a guy in Domantas Sabonis, it was a little bit of a battle, but was still able to hold himself and still able to stretch the floor for the Celtics. And then versus the Pelicans, once again, Porziņģis 19 and 11, 3 blocks in this contest, 2 blocks versus the Kings, amping up his defensive prowess as well, maintaining those almost 10 rebounds across 4 games and almost 20 points as well, which really goes to show you that once Kristaps Porziņģis is fully back, when he's fully healthy, when he's in this team, it is unstoppable. And we saw that last season when the Boston Celtics were so dominant in the Eastern Conference, were the best team in the NBA, and we're far ahead of that. Unfortunately, this season, like I mentioned, they have dealt with injuries that have hindered them, not only to just Kristaps Porziņģis, but Jaylen Brown dealing with some shoulder stuff, Tatum dealing with some knee stuff, Hauser dealing with some back stuff. All those things add up. And with that all coming and culminating, it has led the Boston Celtics to lose some of the games. Yes, maybe they should have won, but it's led to a lot of fans possibly overreacting and getting really, really freaking out about it, which I don't necessarily see. Now, looking back at these lineups, like I mentioned, if we want to dive into that, I want to give a shout out to our guy, Rob Version, in the Discord, because he was the one that plugged me with this. But these are all the lineups that are for the Boston Celtics, their top 20, courtesy of Basketball Reference. And we can see that the best lineup for the Boston Celtics this season is one that has both Al Horford and Kristaps Porziņģis without Derrick White, as Jaylen Brown, Jrue Holiday, Horford, Porziņģis, and Jayson Tatum have the best plus minus for Celtics lineups this year. But the most played lineup that the Celtics have been running this season of Jaylen Brown, Jrue Holiday, Al Horford, Jayson Tatum, and Derrick White with the most minutes ranks 7th currently in the Celtics rotation. Now, if we want to look down and look at the Jaylen Brown, Jrue Holiday, Porziņģis, Tatum, Derrick White one, that one ranks 16th. So the Celtics with Al Horford ranks 7th, with Porziņģis ranks 16th, and that is clearly something that has been a big issue with starting off in games and really finishing it for the Boston Celtics. So I want to know your thoughts down below in the comment section, what you guys ultimately think as we get into the next part here, which is what is the best move? Because personally, I think that keeping Kristaps Porziņģis in this starting lineup is the best move for this Celtics team. I truly believe that with Porziņģis really ramping up over these last couple games, we have seen him trying to get back to his full self, and I realistically think that the Boston Celtics' best team is with him in the lineup and having Horford be off the bench, facilitating and playmaking in. Now, ultimately, the Celtics could run with Al Horford, and I would not be mad. But I do think that with Kristaps Porziņģis, like I mentioned, really getting back into the swing of things, you have to keep trusting him. You have to keep believing in him, and you have to keep giving him this run. You can't just stagger him off the bench. Now, obviously, he wouldn't play off the bench for the full game, but it could look nice in that double big lineup with him and Luke Kornet off the bench, as well as that has been able to provide a lot of benefactors for the Celtics in recent games. With Porziņģis being back, running a lineup like that with Pritchard, with Sam Hauser, could be better having Pritchard have that lob threat with Porziņģis for some minutes. But ultimately, I still think Kristaps Porziņģis staying in the lineup is the key move. But it was a great discussion, and I want to know your thoughts down below as well. So flood them down. Do you think Al should stay in the lineup, or do you think Kristaps should stay in the lineup? If you're at this point in the video, let us know your thoughts. Once again, a great discussion brought up not only by the best in the business, but in the Boston Celtics, and Noah Dazzell and Bobby Manning. So shout out to you guys for creating such a great discussion and ultimately making stuff out of the Celtics material, as it is very, very helpful. But once again, I want to know your guys' thoughts. So let me know what you think down below in the comment section on this news. Like I said, I think Porziņģis should still stay in the lineup. I think that he is just getting acclimated, just getting welcomed back, and I truly believe with him in this lineup, we can see the Celtics start to dominate and start to perform. But like I said, have a great rest of your day, guys. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, and go Boston Celtics.